Hola clase, ¿cómo están? Excelente! And welcome back to another Cow Cow Friday. We're almost there. All right, so we got our test over with yesterday, and today we're going to dig a little bit deeper into verb conjugation. Okay, so let's start with the warm up and see how we do. Okay, so for each one of these, you need to choose the right verb and finish the sentence, say what they're doing. For example, number one should say Esteban y Lana blank. Esteban and Lana run. Okay? So get the word for run, which is correr, and you have to change the ending. Okay? So I'm going to give you a minute. Go ahead, saquen papel, and go ahead and pause now. All right, so this one should say Esteban y Lana corren. Okay? If you have a moment like, oh, now I get what I'm supposed to do, then pause the video again and fix your answers. Okay, so the next one would be Lorenzo bebe agua. You also could have said toma agua, and that would be perfectly fine. Número tres, yo como una manzana. Número cuatro, tú hablas por teléfono. And that ending is everything. That lets you know who's doing it. It makes the difference between I'm doing something and he or she or whoever. All right, número cinco, Miguel. So this one I was going for listens to music. So that would be escucha música. You also could have said canta, he sings. Okay, if you want to call that singing. And número seis, nosotros jugamos al fútbol. If you said practicamos or practicamos deportes, that also would be correct. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so now, since we're not in so much of a hurry today, let's take a moment and practice. Let's go over the notes, okay? So I'm not going to rush this today. I'm just going to go straight through here. Okay, now if you watched this yesterday and you really, really have it down, you can kind of skip through this part. You know who you are. All right? Okay, so again, what we're talking about are the AR, ER, IR verbs. In the Spanish language, there are only three types. Words that end with AR, verbs that end with ER, and verbs that end with IR. Okay, and they're very clearly separated. You just look at the verb and you'll know. Okay, so again, we've gone over these a couple of times already. These are your subject pronouns, your different people. Yo means I, tú means you, etc. Okay, so here are your endings. If a verb ends with AR, your endings are o, as, a, amos, ais, an. And notice the pattern here. For ER, it is o, es, e, amos, ais, en. And for IR, it is O, S, E. I'm so sorry. I'll try to get through this one without yawning. Something about the way I have to talk on here makes me yawn. All right, so IR, it is O, S, E, imos, is, en. Okay, so you'll notice every time it is for yo, I, it is O, O, O. Every time. Yo hablo, yo como, yo vivo. For tú, it ends with an S, as. So it is tú hablas, tú comes, tú vives. You talk, you eat, you live. For él, ella, usted, it's just one letter. A, e, e. Habla, come, vive. With nosotros, it's always going to end with mos. So you have amos, amos, imos. Hablamos, comemos, vivimos. For vosotros, you have ais, eis, is. So, habláis, coméis, vivís. And again, you won't really see that one very often unless you go to Spain, in which case you'll see it a fairly good bit. And finally, for ellos, ellas, ustedes, we have an, en. So, hablan, comen, viven. They talk, they eat, they live. Okay? Now, again, an infinitive is a verb that has not been conjugated yet. It's sitting on a shelf. No one is doing it. For example, the verb comer means to eat. And that's the only thing that comer means. Comer means to eat. If you typed it in a translator, if you told someone, that's what they would understand, to eat. Even if you said yo comer, it means I to eat. You have to change that word for it to have someone doing it. Okay? Now, when a verb is conjugated, that means it matches who's doing it. For example, in the sentence Juan come, it says Juan eats. Okay? So, come means he eats. Juan come, Juan eats. This one, the word comemos, means we eat. Okay? In Spanish, only one word is necessary to accomplish this. This is because the ending is everything. It lets you know who's doing it, and it also lets you know when. It's where we put present tense, future tense, past tense. All right? So that one word, comemos, if you said that to a Spanish speaker, no doubt that one word says we eat. Okay? In English, we need two. We need we eat. This tells you who's doing it. This tells you what it is. In English, in Spanish, the ending tells you who's doing it, and the verb tells you what they're doing. Okay, so the steps are very simple. Number one, look at the original verb. So you look at the word comer, and that ER just needs to explode off of the page right into your eyeballs, and you see, all right, so ER, that means I can only use these. Okay, these are the only ones available. The right attachment for the right tool. Next, get rid of the last two letters, com. And finally, to show people who's doing these things, you add the appropriate ending. For example, comemos means we eat. All right. So what started as comer, to eat, becomes comemos, we eat. And now that it has an ending, we know who's doing it. Okay, this is before lunch, by the way. I need to wake up. All right, so first one. I'm going to give you a chance to do these. So pause this and see if you can put the right ending on these, okay? Go ahead, pause it now and have a try. All right, first one, we eat fruit is comemos fruta. She runs would be corre, and they live in Venezuela, viven en Venezuela. Anytime you see me put something in parentheses, it means it's optional. You can say nosotros comemos fruta. Most people don't, but you could. It's certainly grammatically correct. Corre, as you can see in your chart, could be él corre, ella corre, usted corre. So sometimes to clear it up, because we don't know, is it he runs? Is it she runs? Most of the time you'll already be in a conversation and you've maybe already been talking about, Susana. But if you want to clear it up, you can say ella corre, él corre. Like imagine there's a boy and a girl standing over there and they're on the running team, and you say, él corre los lunes y ella corre los martes. So there you're making a clear distinction. He runs on Mondays and she runs on Tuesdays. I think I got that right, the he, she thing, but you get the idea. Okay. Now, no, just did that. Okay, just make sure I'm on track here. All right. So, what's that, number 4? All right, we're here. I bet I won't yawn again. We'll see. All right, so just a quick repetition practice. Again, this would be much easier if I were with you, but as you know, I'm not if you're watching this video. All right, so just to do some repetition here, because this is normally where I would call on people to say the same thing. So let's talk about different things that I do. Let's talk about all the places I run. Yo corro en mi casa. Yo corro en la escuela. Yo corro en Walmart. Yo corro en Zaxby's. Yo corro en el parque. That's me. I run. So if you practice that on your own, tell me all the places you run. Yo corro, yo corro, yo corro. And once you've done that enough times, it's going to sound very wrong to say yo correr. Okay? No. Yo corro en el parque. Yo corro en Walmart. Yo corro en Publix. Okay? Not that you should be running in most of those places, but I guess we've all been there at some point. Okay. Another thing, let's talk about what we do in America. What we do. Comemos hamburguesas, hablamos inglés, vivimos en casas, escuchamos música americana, leemos libros, miramos televisión. Okay, all these different things we do, it's all mos. Miramos, hablamos. All right, so there you go. Now, let me show you one thing because I don't want y'all to miss this just because you won't see me do this ridiculous thing in class here. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, so you'll notice that we have a pattern here. Okay, o, as, es, amos, hemos, imos, en, etc. Okay, so imagine, here's a little way to remember these if you need it. So the O is always for yo. I is always O. So let's say you walk up in the party and you go, oh, I'm here. Oh, it's me. Okay. With two, what you like if you're talking right to your friend's face, you will say, you are my friend. You eat a lot of chips. Okay. Anything like that, it's going to end with a s. So imagine that you and your friend have a little secret high five and you go, it's like a snake. You're looking right at him and you go, so whenever you're talking right to your friend, tú hablas, tú comes, tú vives. Okay, so that's your secret handshake. All right, back to this. Anytime it's he or she, it's just one letter over by itself, like he's over there by himself. Anytime it's nosotros, it has mos, amos, amos, imos. So you look at your friends and you say, hey guys, we are the most cool. We are the most cool. Most. So anytime it's most, it's we. Hablamos, comemos, corremos, vivimos. Okay? And the last one, ice, ace, is your vosotros. Don't worry too much about that. And also, whenever we talk about they, for example, it ends with an N. On, and, in. So imagine you're trying to get in with the cool kids and you're talking to them and you look over and it's your actual friends and they're like, oh, and they're acting stupid. And you're the new kids, the cool kids, they say, are they your friends? And you go, mm. Okay, so they is on, and, if it helps. So I don't want y'all to miss out on those ridiculous things. Okay, now, just a couple of more things today. This should be a shorter video today because I'm going to give y'all a practice sheet and you can spend your time doing that. Okay, but first, let's do this together. Here is a little practice called ¿Qué hace Bob Esponja? What does SpongeBob do? Okay, so using your endings, I want you to practice conjugating these verbs. So this one says Bob Esponja blank. It's going to say, by the way, in Spanish, his name is Bob Sponge. It's going to say SpongeBob cooks. Okay, so there's our verb cocinar. It's an AR verb. Okay, so if we use our endings, what is this verb going to end with instead of the AR? Bob Esponja cocina. Okay? Now you can pause these as we go if you want more time. Bob Esponja. And notice the pattern too. So we have cocina, Bob Esponja canta, Bob Esponja baila, Calamardo grita. It's like shouts or screams. All right, here's an ER verb. Bob Esponja bebe leche. If you said toma, again, that's completely fine. Bob Esponja vive en una piña. All right, so now here is a they situation. We're talking about both of these guys at the same time. Bob Esponja y Patricio. So I want you to take correr and make it say they run. Corren. Okay, here's another they. Los peces blank hamburguesas. So if this was corren, this would be what? Comen. They eat. Calamardo y Don Cangrejo blank. Hablan. They talk. Okay, good. So the last thing I'll show you today, make sure I'm not leaving out anything. Good. Okay, last thing I'll show you today. Well, actually, I will show you this one last thing. If you want to do some extra practice today, like if you want to kind of sharpen up, if you go to tinyurl.com/cowcowconjugation, I'll show you where that takes you. That will take you here. And it is a Quizlet, okay, where you can practice your conjugation. I eat, como, he or she eats, come, etc. There's a bunch of them, and there's like 111. You don't have to do all of them, of course. And the other one is if you type in cow conjugation 2, it brings you to a little online trainer. And this is really good because, first of all, you can click the accent marks if you need them. And also, it will tell you if it's right. So it gives us vender, to sell, and the subject is él, he. So we type in vende. Did we get it right? That's right. Okay. Let's make something that's not right. Correct? Sorry, that's wrong. And you can keep trying until you get it right. Okay. You can even hit solution and it'll show you what it should have been. But don't just jump into that. That would just waste your own time. Again, those things are optional. Those little online things. Okay. Now, what I have posted on Google Classroom today is this. So on the front, this is a worksheet that I want you to finish, but don't worry about turning this in, okay? I will either see you in class during our live session or whatever and go over the answers with you, or you can watch tomorrow's YouTube, I guess would be Monday's YouTube, and go over the answers, okay? So this one says conjugate the verb and finish the sentence. So let's do one together, that's fine. All right, we have yo and hablar. So it would be what? Yo hablo. And then to finish the sentence, you could say con mi amigo. I talk with my friend. Okay, you could say whatever, what this person eats, where they do these things. Then you translate these. We eat, they run, etc. I'm telling you guys, if you use Google Translate or something, it is going to be wasting your own time, okay? Don't do that. It's not worth it. Translate to English. What do these say? And then complete the sentence, yo blank in Burger King. Okay, I eat at Burger King. Senior Coward watches TV in his house, etc. And there's a second page here, and it is a crossword puzzle. So there you go. So do this front and back. You can print it. You can do whatever. I would definitely print this at least so you can see where the words intersect. So that's your assignment, okay? So let me go back to me here. All right, so that's class for today. Get your worksheet done. We'll go over it soon. Have an awesome weekend. Adios.